Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's February 5th, and right now we are looking at one of the water vapor loops. You can see the state of California here. There goes the low pressure center there. It's still spinning across Northern California and filling. There are some high wind warnings. They're set to expire here, and I think they may have already did, but still some strong winds going on across Northern California, some heavy rainfall as well, and you can see some of these convective bands moving across the central portion of the state, including the Bay Area and some of Sacramento as we go through the day today. Thunderstorm threat will be apparent with that. But the big story here is the atmospheric river, and you can see it stretch all the way back towards the tropics here. You can see it kind of bouncing around and training over the same area there. Los Angeles Metro, some incredible rainfall amounts. The bulk of it trying to move into Orange County, but we're going to get kind of a relapse here. We're going to build some of this back to the west, and it could include Santa Barbara and Ventura County and continue over the Los Angeles Metro all the way on in through tonight and potentially into tomorrow morning as well, and some convection likely making its way down the coastline as we go on in through tomorrow. Very dynamic storm. One of the best storms I've ever seen strike the state of California, and for places like San Francisco, maybe its all-time greatest windstorm since we've been recording wind at the airport. Now, taking a look at the most recent Doppler radar, I've just got it going through here. This is from last night, and kind of see it moving off to the east and southeast a little bit here, but now it starts to hang up again, and at the very end of the run you can kind of see where it's going to continue to build back west again here. So not very much motion with this atmospheric river, even though the amounts are probably going to be lesser as we go through the day today. It's still going to be training over these same areas. And if we look at some of these rainfall amounts, look at some places near Santa Monica towards 10 inches, Beverly Hills, UCLA, off in the higher hills, just some ridiculous amounts. And you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 inches even across some of the lower elevations of the Los Angeles Metro. And again, this is really going to be targeting portions of Orange County today, and some of this precipitation is going to continue, persist, moderate to heavy rainfall at times as we go through the day today. And this is what's going on. So you can see the bulk of the atmospheric river, and it is making some progress off to the east as we go through the day today, but you can still see we got this cyclonic activity here as we're dropping that low pressure center. It's becoming elongated off the coastline. We've still got the southerly flow still bringing in some of that moisture, which will continue the precipitation today for even western portions of Los Angeles County, again, as I mentioned, and that will continue through tonight. As you can see, that southerly flow ongoing all the way on and through Tuesday morning. Then finally we get a wind shift and kick some of that through here, but we may get some intense convective bands on through Tuesday and Tuesday near noon, the noon hour here as well. And if we look at the precipitable water, I'll put this into motion, and you're like, okay, we're making a little bit of headway. We're kicking it off to the east some. But as you see, as we go through the day and the afternoon today, we're not making much headway. And you can see it fill back in a bit there. And that's going to continue to keep that rainfall going. As we go through Tuesday morning, finally we start to shunt the heaviest bulk of this precipitable water off to the east here. We bring some convection through here as we go through the early afternoon and finally put an end to that heaviest rainfall, hopefully across a lot of the area. Now, taking a wider look at things here, again, a low pressure center is here, some heavy rain ongoing across Northern California and some convective elements to this precipitation across the central portion of the state. And look at how this just kind of hangs out across Southern California. This is the most recent actually. Let me update that and we'll run through it here. And you can kind of see how it just hangs up over the Los Angeles Metro as we go on in through the day today. Becomes a little bit more north-south orientated, but you can see we got some convective elements back here that are also going to bring a rounder rainfall as we go through the day Tuesday. And you can see this is all the way on through Tuesday morning. Some very intense rainfall just continuing across Southern California. And if we back that all the way up, you can see the low pressure center. It is filling and it's trying to weaken here, but still we're going to have some thunderstorm activity across central and northern California as we go through the day today. Now, looking at the North American model, let's see if it shows something similar. There's the low pressure center. There's a just ridiculous, sinister atmospheric river that does not want to move off of Southern California. And you can see some of this heavier precipitation moving all the way into tonight, into tomorrow morning. Then we get this kicker with some pretty intense convection showing up in some of the high resolution models moving across right the late morning and early afternoon hours as it pivots across some of Los Angeles and Orange County and kicks towards the desert areas here. Then finally some residual showers just on Wednesday morning, and then maybe another system as we go on in towards Wednesday. But this one will not be the huge rainfall maker that this one we're dealing with now is. And you can see Dr. Daniel Swain's a good one to follow on Twitter here. I heard there was up to 2 million people out of power at one time. Right now it looks like about 1.3 without, and just a savage windstorm. I mean, across much of the state, especially a lot of the higher terrain, even the valley areas, just savage wind gusts. I mean, 77 miles per hour at San Francisco, and then 40 minutes later hit 71. Just numerous hours with 60 plus mile per hour gusts across much of the Bay Area. What a storm. This is definitely one of the all-timers here. And this is kind of zoomed in here on UCLA. I wanted to show near Bel Air some of these ridiculous amounts, and that's why there are some swiftwater rescues out there. Do not let your guard down. This rainfall is going to be continuing through the day today. And you can see some of the wording from the National Weather Service Los Angeles. The hills around the Santa Monica Mountains, life-threatening landslides and additional flash flooding expected overnight tonight. Delay travel if at all possible. And this was issued very early this morning and continues on in through the day today. This is looking at Northern California. We're looking at Eureka, and you can see some of the heavy bands of rainfall here. And we had some strong winds all the way on through this morning, probably continuing as we speak right now. And if we click here, you can see the high wind warning that was in effect until 8 a.m. It's almost 9 a.m. as I'm speaking, but you can see some huge gusts really going all the way up north, a little bit lesser once you get up towards Crescent City. And this is a better look at that in effect here. So yeah, you can see it, Shelter Cove 60 plus, and especially the higher terrain gusting over 70. Some of the gusts initially, we're going to go over this more probably tomorrow or when I get more time to look at this. Some places up over 100 miles per hour on the higher terrain. And I saw a list that was actually had some much higher gusts across some higher areas, and we'll look at some of that maybe tomorrow. But I may be coming down to Southern California to document damage once this event wraps up, so that could be tomorrow as well. Now, looking at total rain, most probable here, this goes all the way now through 4 p.m. on Tuesday. This is not today. This goes through Tuesday as we just continue to bring the rainfall across the region. Expected snow totals for the highest terrain, as you can see here, but that's, kind of a novelty here for people who are off in the backcountry that are kind of used to this type of thing here. So yeah, the snow levels here you can see on the day today dropping down a little bit here, but the big story here across Southern California is the rain, and this was issued this morning. Additional rain through 10 p.m. Tuesday. Again, you can see how Orange County is going to be targeted here as well. And still have the excessive rainfall outlook here that does include Los Angeles, Anaheim, Santa Ana, and Riverside as we go through the day today. In fact, let's take a look at this. And you can see the high risk, and just look at this, just absolute fire hose of moisture ripping into California. What a storm here. We're going to remember this one for a long time, you guys. Now back to it here. Let's go ahead and look at some of the wording they've been talking about. I mean, just an expansive area from Central California coast down to southern Los Angeles County with embedded totals exceeding 4. As you saw, we're over that as well. And an inch of rain is a huge amount of water. 4 inches is just, it's kind of hard to fathom. Again, it's kind of hard to imagine in a lot of these cases. And as you saw, we're up towards 10 inches in some areas. So, they're still maintaining that high risk as we go through today. And you can see tomorrow, we're still under this slight as we go through the day tomorrow. And again, we could have some thunderstorm activity with this. And some of this is going to extend across southern Nevada up towards Death Valley and western Arizona, as you can see. And again, I'd like to just mention this here, that during the high risk is when most of the loss of life occurs and most of the damage occurs as well. National Blended Models, this is hot off the presses here. I want to show this also, so we're going to scroll through here. This is actually 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. You can see a bulk of that moving kind of to the east of Los Angeles, but watch as we go. There's 11, there's noon. You can see it kind of filling back in towards Oxnard and Ventura County here. Again, another bout of moderate to heavy rainfall could be moving over the area as we go through about 3 p.m., 4 p.m. You can see it just again targeting Los Angeles. Just absolutely been hammered overnight. And then we get a little bit of a push to the east, still strong, heavy, moderate rainfall going on. I'm just running out of words to use. And then you can see kind of that cyclonic flow finally trying to bring some of the convective showers through as we go through late morning Tuesday and on through the afternoon, and finally try to get this heaviest rain out of there. But you can see it maybe targeting portions of San Diego as well, and the higher terrain as we go through Tuesday afternoon. That's about 4 p.m. on Tuesday, and you can see some of the convective elements to some of these showers here as we go on in through the afternoon of Tuesday. But finally, the atmospheric river and the constant plume of moisture will be pushing off and targeting some of western Arizona as well. However, it will not be as bad as what Southern California is getting currently. Now, this is day one overall winter storm impacts. You might want to put off travel till probably Wednesday or so, but there's another round of snow coming on Wednesday as well. But the biggest snow amounts are coming down a bit here, but there's still some good snowfall amounts coming, and this is day two. So you might want to put off your travel if you can. Let the snowplows try to catch up back there. And yeah, people up in the backcountry here, I know that you're probably getting a lot of snowfall, and it might be a day or two before a lot of those roads can be cleared. So heads up for that. There's avalanche warnings in effect. You can see Carson City and Truckee and Reno is right there. You can see the red flashing for the avalanche warning that is in effect. You can click on this and you can see an intense pulse of snowfall is expected to deposit. Another foot of new snow this morning. This combined with strong winds will fuel ongoing snowpack instability and keep natural avalanches very likely today. Travel in, near, or below avalanche terrain is not recommended. And you can see it's below, it's near the tree line, and it's above the tree line. Just, the highest avalanche danger is out there. And this is for some of the southern Sierras here, what we're talking about, above 6,000 feet, up to 2 feet again today and tonight. So still bringing a lot of moisture into this area here. This is Hanford National Weather Service. Looking at the North American model, this is hot off the presses here, so let's put this into motion. And by the way, just look at, we're still just building up these precipitation amounts. You can see some of that, maybe some local flooding still going on for the coastal areas down south of Monterey here, and some of these thunderstorms could be strong at times. And again, pumping a lot of moisture back up into the northern Sierra Nevada. You can see the low pressure center with its strong winds and heavy rainfall. But the big story again is the amount of precipitation that's going to be falling through tomorrow morning across Los Angeles and a lot of Southern California here. And you can see that plume all the way out across the desert areas as well. I mean, just a dynamic storm. It's tough for me to cover so much going on because I can't really concentrate on individual areas with so much going on. So I'm trying to do my best here. A closer look at Los Angeles and Southern California. And you can see as we go through the day today, just these huge amounts continue to pile up. And you can see as we go through this evening and tonight, look at some of these intense precip amounts showing up. And then as we go through Tuesday, look at this. We're just still piling it up through Tuesday, late morning into the afternoon hours. So hopefully none of those convective elements are going to be training over the same area, kind of adding insult to injury at this point. Looking at the national blend, that's just North American model, actually. I'm going to put this into motion. It shows the updraft helicity, and you can see some of this action going on in through the noon morning hours. You might see a brief weak tornado with some of that convective activity as we go on in through the day tomorrow. Again, just called it kind of adding insult to injury at this point. Here's Northern California. The precipitation amounts had some pretty good amounts, but not, again, like what we're seeing across Southern California. But, I mean, with what's falling down there, you kind of look at these totals and you get a little bit numb to them, but this is still huge rainfall amounts. Sacramento, some areas were up towards 2 inches, some big amounts all the way up through Shasta National Forest as well. And this is still ongoing across Eureka and up towards Crescent City. Some heavy rainfall still going. Klamath National Forest, it's not over yet. You're still getting some very gusty winds out there. Day one thunderstorm outlook, we talked about that a bit. Central Coast and some of Sacramento area and the Bay Area is included. And tomorrow will move down across Southern California, as we mentioned, and kind of kick through western Arizona. Day three should be out of here by the time we get towards Wednesday on into Thursday morning for Arizona and New Mexico, some of the Four Corners region. Now, this is CAPE, convective available potential energy, and you see how we destabilize pretty well here across some of the area as we go through the day today, and then tomorrow this is going to pivot down the coastline, and you can see some of this instability right off the coast here. Again, another round of thunderstorms, kind of the grand finale here for Southern California as we go through the early afternoon here on into the afternoon, evening hours. It's going to extend a little bit longer here across some of the higher terrain, and then as we kick off into Wednesday, you can see that instability move off with that. But yeah, so much to talk about here, folks. Just an intense system ongoing. I mean, my goodness, look at that atmospheric river. And this has just been hanging up. It's almost like a worst case scenario here for some areas. I mean, 10 inches of precipitation, UCLA and Beverly Hills, and you're going to be adding to that as well. But yeah, interesting storm system here. You can kind of see it weakening and elongating. And that's kind of the problem. That's why it's allowing it to hang up a bit here also. So anyway, yeah, I feel like I'm rambling on a bit here. Hopefully you guys are doing well out there. Let me know what you're seeing across the update. You know, this is an all-time storm. You're going to remember this one for a long time. We'll probably be comparing this system to every other storm system that tries to develop off our coastline in the future. So yeah, fun to look at meteorologically speaking here, but not fun if you're having to deal with some of these waters running into your home out there, or if you're being trapped, or if you're in the backcountry, or there are rock slides and landslides all over the place as well. But anyway, I'm going to get this video out here. I hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this again tomorrow. I may be down there tomorrow morning as well, so I might not have a video tomorrow morning, but I will be live streaming when I'm documenting stuff also across Southern California, and maybe I'll go out to the desert areas as well if there's some interesting rainfalls that happen on through the day tomorrow also. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this again tomorrow at some point, either in a video or a live stream, and I will talk to you guys then.